Welcome, Sagittarius. This is your May 25th to May 31st reading. And for you, the theme this week is going to be love and relationships. And we have Mercury, Cazimi, and Gemini on May 29th. And that's going to have the biggest impact for you. And you're being advised that clear communication is going to enhance your relationships and to use this time to really express your feelings and resolve any misunderstandings. So I feel like this is really a continuation on working on your relationships from last week. And if you watched last week's video, then you know that we did have that moment where we talked about you may decide, you and your partner or you and your loved ones, that, okay, this is a little too much. We're not making a lot of progress here in our discussions. So let's just hold off. Let's just go, everybody take a break, take a breather, and let's come back to it later on. So you may be getting back to those discussions or continuing discussions and continuing to work through additional items that may be brought up. So we have the Four of Pentacles here. Okay. So there may be some things that are brought to light here as well as a part of these discussions that are happening. So maybe some secrets that are being uncovered. You may also find that there's not a lot of balance here being created. And I feel like it's more about like the logical thinking in mind, like versus like making things black and white, right versus wrong. And just needing to be a little more compassionate, a little more understanding, a little more taking more of a heart-centered type of view and approach to things, and you actually doing both, like looking at things from a logical perspective as well as running it through your heart space, is going to be beneficial to you. And we did talk about balance last week as well, so it's more of that balance coming through that's going to be helpful. We also have the Ten of Pentacles here. So we do have that happiness and peace and prosperity coming through as a result. So some of you have already worked through those things and this is sort of where you're at. Others of you, there's still a couple things that need to be worked out, but this is the goal and this can potentially be your outcome. We also have the Eight of Swords here. So some of you may want to be addressing things in your relationship, like just power dynamics, let's say. So someone may have more power than the other, and that can display in a lot of different ways. And so that may be something that you want to discuss, and that may come up here. And for some of you, I feel like that you're going to be surprised by that. You're going to be like, what? You think I have all the lead control? No. You know what I mean? So that may be something that y'all go back and forth about and find that you need to have discussions on and work through. So we also have the Ace of Swords here. So this is also more opportunity coming up for you to release some of the negative energies, the negative belief systems, the negative thought patterns that you have. Any limiting belief, you have opportunity to release all of that here. So we also have the Four of Wands here. It's a wonderful, I love this, the Ten of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. So this can go in one of two different directions, and that's really going to depend on the communication that you have and the really being able to resolve and work through things that come up. But we do have this new portal opening here, like a new chapter that can open, that can be wonderful, that can be prosperous, that can be fulfilling emotionally, romantically, financially. It's all here. You can also have opportunity to raise your frequency and vibration with a more balanced, healthy relationship. So yeah, it's all here. It's all here. What else? So we have the Page of Swords here. Okay, so you taking like a really direct, brave, straightforward approach is what's going to be your best option and solution. With that being said, that still means having constructive communication and really working through things with your partner. So that doesn't mean like just it got to be all your side and or all their side and you giving into that. So that's not what it means. This is more like, okay, let's take these steps to resolve our issues. Let's take this approach and just going for it. Okay, so what else? So we have you entering the temple of truth, and we talked about that last week, about honesty and truth and leading from that space. And this is you also learning to value truths, right? Because we talked about not getting defensive over truths last week. We talked about that. So yeah, this is more of, this is that continued discussion from last week, which that's it's great, but then it's also like opportunity to learn lessons here and for you to really come out on top and really feel fulfilled and content. So we have you finding ways to live in the present moment. So that could be something that you are working through with your partner. Like, what feels good to us? What does this new chapter for us mean? What's that going to look like? What do you need? What do I need? And then reviewing that and collaborating on that and working together. So we have judgment here coming through. Okay, so this is you also raising your frequency and consciousness, and I'm getting into the challenges now. So that may be something that is going to come to the surface for you. So you're going to find that you may need to be more cognizant of how you talk and how you speak and your tone, and you may just be expected to, and this could be an expectation on yourself, and it may be from your partner as well, to just raise your frequency a little bit and have higher level discussions here. Okay, so you may be feeling like, can I do that? Is that going to work here? Do I have the strength to do that? And you absolutely do. You can do anything you desire, anything you desire. We also have the Four of Cups here as well. So just be very careful, and you may be, and we're looking at sort of challenges here, so you may also be finding that you're skipping over things, just trying to resolve things rather quickly, or you may find that you or your partner may be a little set in their ways and not as open to compromising here. So again, the outcome is really going to be based off of the energy that parties are bringing toward really resolving and working through and collaborating on win-win approaches to anything that you want to address. So we have the Two of Cups here as well. Okay, so this is really about coming into union. So you and your partner coming into union, you coming into union with yourself, and recognizing and being honest and truthful about your own needs and how you want to see things happen and occur moving forward. So again, we're opening up that new chapter, and you are writing that new chapter. Okay. So we have the Knight of Wands here as well. So with the Knight of Wands, what do they say? Like, okay, so you may be faced with like, how do I want to say this? Like, so, all right. There's a lot here with this Knight. So it's about like your self-confidence, your charm here. So you may find that, just gonna bring this full circle here in a second, like as you're working through these things, like again, you may need to really like check yourself and like, okay, am I being open? Am I going within? Am I really being truthful and honest about what my needs are? Am I being vulnerable? Okay, so you may, as you're having these conversations and discussions, really consider that and think about that. Okay. So what else do we have for Sagittarius here? Okay. Yeah. This is so funny that this would come up. It says not having it, because that is exactly what we're talking about here. Like not taking on that type of energy, taking on like an open unconditionally loving type of energy where you're both free to express your needs, to express any challenges that you're experiencing, express anything that's coming up to the surface that you want your partner to consider. Again, we're opening up new chapters, so you may have some things that, ain't coming. We need to adjust this, we need to change this, and it's really about like you collaborating with your partner, collaborating together to figure out and make sure that everybody's on the same page here. Okay. All right, so now we also talked, okay, this is crazy, like the way that these things are coming out, because it's tying directly back to last week's reading. So if you didn't watch that, you probably want to watch that if this applies to you. But we did speak about maybe some things being uncovered, and this is exactly what I was talking about. So if some things are happening, they are going to be brought to light here, it does appear. Okay, so just so you do know that that is coming, so you can be prepared for that. And you may even want to take those steps to be open and honest up front first before things just get way too out of hand. Okay, so let's look at some underlying fears. Okay, and I feel like for some of you, especially those of you that this is happening, like, you know, going within, you're going to receive the truth. You know, you're going to be met with the truth. And so you may have that fear of not really wanting to deal with the truth, knowing full well what the truth is, but just not wanting to deal with it. Okay. Also, for some of you, there may be you continuing to work on your spiritual evolution and growth and not necessarily knowing how to connect or knowing if this is your intuition or if this is your ego speaking. So some of you may be feeling a little unsure about your progress spiritually, and that may tie in some way to you continuing to build on your relationships. So you may have that fear. So I don't know if your partner is more spiritual or if that's just something that's coming out and coming to the surface for you. We also have the Page of Wands here. So you may be feeling like you're not quite sure about how you can work through things, if you have the knowledge and skills to work through them. And I hear if you just open and honest and vulnerable and share information in a tone that is open and inviting and leads to collaboration, then that's going to be very, very beneficial to you. This could also mean receiving some sort of message as well. So you may be afraid of what comes out and what you're going to hear from your partner here as well. And it could be vice versa. Your partner may fear some things that might be said here about the truth here. So what else do we have? So we have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, so I feel for some of you, like you're wondering, like, what is fulfilling to me? What do I truly want? Okay, so you may have the fear that this isn't what fulfills you. Okay, and are you leaving something behind, or are you going in a direction that is the opposite of where you want to go? So that may come up as a fear. That may come up as fears for your partner as well. Okay. What else? So we have the Two of Swords. So you may also have fear over any solutions that may be brought up, any ideas that may come to mind. So it could be you just like, okay, just none of these options sound good, or none of these options are getting me everything that I want or desire. Your partner may feel that way. So this could be vice versa. What else? I thought I was going to say something else here. So you may also be thinking and contemplating like whether there are still secrets that need to come out and be exposed. There might be more information and you're wondering like, okay, like how deep is this? How significant is this? How, what else is involved with this? Like, I need to know. And some of that communication may come out. It's all going to come out eventually, but in the short term, in the near term, you may receive a little more information, and you may be wondering and thinking like, okay, what else is there? What the hell is truly going on here? So let's look at some potential outcomes. Okay, wonderful. So we still have you thinking, doing a little more of that thinking and trying to figure out what is best for you and what direction you want to go in. So again, you may decide, there may be some continued discussions here, and you may decide like, okay, yeah, I'm not really ready to make my choice or make my decision. Or you may decide like, yeah, there's still a lot more that we need to talk about here. You may also decide that there's a lot more change and transformation that needs to happen here as well, if you are going to step forward into that new portal. Okay, loves, I have to stop here because I did encounter some technical issues with recording. So thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week. Take care.